The question is how you as a landlord can learn as much as possible from the eviction process. And with Section 21 gone, with the renter's bills, this is going to get longer. We'll talk about the systemic crisis which is happening right now and it's only going to get worse. The total time you'll be wasting in this whole process is 12 to 18 months. Question is how you as a landlord can learn as much as possible from the eviction process in the UK so you can make it fast and efficient. Let's have a look. In today's video, we are going to talk about the standard route, which is the County Court Bailiff. We'll talk about the systemic crisis, which is happening right now and is only going to get worse. The standard County Court Bailiff timeline, what are the waiting times at the moment, and we'll talk about the private route, which is the High Court Enforcement Officer, and how we can save the day with these new government rules. We'll talk about the analysis that you need to do in terms of costs and time, and we'll finalize with a commercial necessity conclusion in terms of all this process. Before we start, if you have any properties in Liverpool and Wirral that you want managed, or if you want to invest in that area, give us a call, give us a text via WhatsApp 0471 1904124 as is on the screen, and we'll be happy to have a conversation with you. Now let's start. The default reinforcement option after you have won a possession order from the court is the County Court Bailiff. And it's cheap in terms of costing only 130, 140 pounds. But unfortunately, this low price creates a financial trap because you don't account for the real cost behind it, which is time. And we'll see why in a second. Now, the systemic crisis that we are living in the courts at the moment means that once you have won the right to get your property back, then you need to go to the County Court Bailiffs. And that is where actually the catastrophic losses can happen, because the national average wait is about 8 to 10 months. In London, it's about 10 to 12 months. And with Section 21 gone, with the renter's bills, this is going to get longer. Only going to get longer. If not, it's going to double, at least double the time that will take to take a tenant out of your property. And this delay is going to turn a legal victory into a financial disaster, which is already is, because landlords are unprotected. Now, the timeline for this with using Section 8 under the renter's bills regulations is that for you to give a Section 8 notice, you will have to wait for a month for serious arrears in that case. And then you will have to apply it to a court, which is now mandatory because Section 21 is gone. And to get the date of the hearing is going to be 3 or 6 months. The court hearing, possession order, then after you have the hearing and the judge rules on your favor, is going to take another month. Then if the tenant fails to leave, then you apply for a warrant of possession, which is 1-2 days. But then the systemic overload wait starts, which is the bailiffs. To wait for a bailiff, you will have to wait for 8 to 12 months. And on top of that, when they arrive, the date arrives for the bailiff to come to your property and remove the tenant. If the tenant is violent, then they will have to come back with the police, which easily can add a month, 2 months more, depending on how fast they move. And because they are public servants, they don't have any urgency to move. That's the thing. They do a good job, but they are overloaded, unfortunately, and they will just move at their own pace. The total wait time that you will be losing, or the total time you'll be wasting in this whole process, is 12 to 18 months. Which is very sad. And now let's do some maths. If your monthly rent is £1,200, right, and your bailiff time is 10 months, then the actual cost of waiting for the bailiff is going to be about £12,000. If you're in London, this could be up to £24,000. And that's why we need to look at the private route, which is the High Court Enforcement Officer. which is a private bailiff. And what you need to do to use that private alternative is that during the hearing, you need to tell the judge to transfer the application to the High Court. You will have to pay about £70, and you need to justify why you want that. What you can say is effectively the time of waiting for a bailiff is too long. Your tenant in this case is not paying rent, and the losses are going to be massive. You are under financial burden of paying a mortgage, and therefore you need to ask the judge to consider the fact that you want to use a faster route. And then the High Court enforcement officer will operate within weeks or days, but the cost is going to be between £300 and £1,500. Expensive? Let's have a look. So the amateur mindset will just pay the £140 for the CCB to save the £1,300 for the HCEO. But as a professional landlord, you would know that to pay £1,500 is very cheap if you are about to lose £12,000 or £24,000 in rent. So this is not going to be longer a luxury. Under the renter's bill is going to become a commercial necessity. And that's super important for you to understand and to learn about this process, how to make it efficient. So the cheap route for the CCB is a financial trap due to the renter's bills. Now it's going to overload massively. Then the real cost of waiting is about £12,000 to £24,000. The HCEO is a private bailiff, and it will cost you about £1,500, hopefully less, but be prepared. And it's an investment. It's definitely an investment to get one because of the time you have to wait otherwise to get your property back. Again, if you have any properties in Liverpool or Wirral, give us a call. Hopefully this video gave you some additional information that you as a landlord can use to protect yourself in the whole process. My name is Noel Cardona. You can know more about our agency in propertycashflow.co.uk. See you later.